Well, hello and welcome to the next daily Dominion. It's Monday, so we have the base set mixed with one other expansion, which happens to be Allies. And yeah, this one definitely smells like Allies, with the ally being around, and also with 3 rotating split piles being in the kingdom. It does barely feel like a base kingdom anymore. Um, but yeah, as always, I will start by going over the cards one by one, and if you're not interested in that, I'll put a timestamp. So, we have the Augurs, which is a rotating split pile, saying this pile starts the game with 4 copies each of Herb Gatherer, Acolyte, Sorceress, and Sibyl in that order. Only the top card can be gained or bought. And now, if we look at those one by one, I'll turn on my camera again. We look at those one by one. We see that Herb Gatherer is a plus buy giving card, which says also put your deck into your discard pile, look through it, and you may play a treasure from it. You may rotate the augurs. So how rotating split piles work is that usually the top card says you may rotate the pile, and that means that all of the top copies get put, like all of the remaining top copies. So for example, if you've gained 1 Herb Gather, there will be 3 left. All of the top card copies will be flipped to the back, and then the new top card will be Acolyte. Then later, if you rotate it again, then the top card will be Sorceress, and so on and so on. And Herb Gatherer allows you to rotate the augurs. Then Acolyte says you may trash an action or victory card from your hand to gain a gold. You may trash this to gain an augur. Well, usually very weak-ish trashing, as it can only trash your estates and essentially and remodel them into golds, and it can, I mean, it at least can get rid of itself in the end and be replaced by something better like a sorceress or a sibyl. Sorceress says +1 action, name a card, reveal the top card of your deck and put it into your hand. If it's a named card, each other player gains a curse. So this one is kind of a rewarding card for deck tracking or even top decking effects. And yeah, if you play it and you know the top card of your deck, you will curse your opponent with a cantrip cursor, essentially, but it also costs 5. But there is the next card in the pile, Sibyl, which helps it, as Sibyl has +4 cards, +1 action. Then you have to put a card from your hand on top of your deck and another on the bottom. And of course, yeah, the synergy with Sorceress is imminent, can be seen directly. And yeah, that's the augurs for you. Then we have the clashes, a very centralizing pile usually. The clashes have battle plan on top, which by itself is just +1 card +1 action. But if you can reveal an attack card from your hand, it's also +2 cards and +1 action instead. And battle plan says you may rotate any supply pile, and that means that not only you can rotate the clashes, but you can also rotate the augurs, you can rotate the wizards, you could rotate the ruins if they were in the game, any supply pile. So this one is special in that regard. And then the second card on is Archer, +2 coins. Each other player with 5 or more cards in hand reveals all but one and discards one of them that you choose. And that's a very annoying, or can be a very annoying attack. At least you can hold on to your best card, but you get to discard your opponent's second best card. Warlord, also a very, very centralizing attack, as it just says +1 action and at the start of your next turn 2 cards, so kind of a lab variant. But also, until then, other players can't play an action from their hand that they have 2 or more copies of in play. And this essentially shuts down any monolithic engines, like Village Smithy that relies on just a bunch of villages and just a bunch of smithies. Well, too bad, you can only play 2 of them during each of your turns. 2 of them each during each of your turns, and then, yeah, you will have a bunch of essentially dead villages and smithies in your hand afterwards. And yeah, Warlord is certainly something to look out for, and that's also why it's usually very important to get your hands on one or two battle plans. Not only are they usually with some attack cards, essentially labs, but also they give you access to this very important card. And you should keep it in mind when building, usually. Territory is a victory card with one victory point per differently named victory card you have. So if you have province, duchy, estate, then territory will be worth 4 for you because it's the fourth victory card. And also when you gain this, gain a gold per empty supply pile. So that can boost your economy a bit if there are already empty supply piles, but not super impactful. Village is a village. We have the wizards. Okay, maybe that was a bit very brief, but if you've played Dominion before, and I assume you have, even if you don't know all of the cards, but Village is a card that gives you +2 actions and allows you to play more than one terminal card, such as Council Room or Highwayman, or any of the cards that don't give you actions back. Student. +1 action, you may rotate the wizards, trash a card from your hand if it's a treasure, +1 favor, and put the student that you just played onto your deck. This one can be moderately nice thinning. Sometimes it's awkward because when it trashes your coppers and places itself on your deck, you're not very likely to hit 5. But here, not hitting 5 early is okay, I think, in this kingdom, as I'll get to that. It's actually connected to it being a liaison, and being a liaison means that it comes with an ally, and those favors, with which we also start with one. That sentence didn't make any sense. Anyways, um, those favors can be used in this game for Family of Inventors. And Family of Inventors says, at the start of your buy phase, you may put a favor token you have on a non-victory supply pile. Cards cost 1 coin less per favor token on their piles. So if we put Family of Inventors on Village, then Village only costs 2. And if we put it on the Wizards, each of the Wizard cards is reduced in cost by 1. So yeah, it's pretty nice, but it also, so this reduction, of course, not only applies to yourself, but also to your opponent, and can lead to very rushy kingdoms as supply piles get cheaper and cheaper, but victory piles stay at the same cost. Yeah. There's one notable synergy here with Family of Inventors, or there are multiple, but usually they are really nice with gainers and not really nice with lich. But there is not that much trashing going on apart from copper and estate trashing anyways. But yeah, how does it interact with Conjurer? Well, Conjurer says gain a card costing up to 4, and at the start of your next turn, put this into your hand. So if you put Family of Inventors tokens on Highwayman or Specialist, or even 2 on Artisan, you can gain those with Conjurer, also on gold, if you were to do that. Then we have Sorcerer, +1 card, +1 action. Each other player names a card, then reveals the top card of their deck. If wrong, they gain a curse. So this is the inverse of the Augur's Sorceress, where you have to guess the top card of your deck. Sorcerer makes your opponent try to guess the top card of their deck. And yeah, I love how they've been translated to German. Actually, one of my favorite nice to know trivia facts. So in German, there one word you could translate a sorcerer as would be Zauberer, and the problem about the female version of that, Zauberin, is that Enchantress is also had already been translated as Zauberin, so you couldn't do that. But what they did is they translated sorcerer with the nice word of Hexenmeister, and so essentially master of the witches or witch lord, and sorceress is Meisterhexe. So master witch. So I really love how they related those in German, even when being out of the common Zauberin, Zauberer and Zauberin. Anyways, I'm getting super distracted here. We're 10 minutes in the video, and maybe you're not even listening anymore, and you just want to get through the cards. I'm sorry, but yeah, just a little fun trivia fact. Lich +6 cards, +2 actions, and you skip a turn. So on play, it's super strong, of course, but then you have to skip a turn, and that's very, very bad. And usually doesn't justify playing the Lich. But it also has a passive effect. When you trash this, discard it and gain a cheaper card from your trash. This usually is really nice with remodel variants. We don't have any of those in this kingdom. But yeah, I guess Lich is not worth going for, especially if since your opponent can place Family of Inventor tokens on the Wizards pile, and Lich will cost less and less, and then remodeling it is even worse, as the cards you can gain from the trash are going to be worth less and all that stuff. Anyways, Innkeeper is +1 action, and then either you draw 1 card, or draw 3 cards and discard 3, or draw 5 cards and discard 6. So each consecutive option has you discard 1 more card in relation to the cards you draw, but also you get to see more cards. It's a nice sifter usually. Poacher is a peddler variant, +1 card, +1 action, +1 coin, and then discard a card per empty supply pile. So in the early game, it's essentially +1 coin without many repercussions, pretty nice. And the more supply piles empty, the worse it usually gets. Council Room, +4 cards, +1 buy. Each other player draws a card. So you improve your opponent's hand, but also you draw 4 cards and get a buy. Highwayman. At the start of your next turn, discard this from play and +3 cards. Until then, the first treasure each other player plays each turn does nothing. So it essentially attacks your opponent while drawing your cards at the start of your next turn, and being discarded from play at the beginning of the turn means that you can redraw the same copy even during that turn. Then we have Specialist. You may play an action or treasure from your hand. Choose one, play it again, so a throne room variant, or gain a copy of it. And yeah, Specialist is also among of the strongest cards, at least from allies, but also Dominion is pretty high up, I'd say, as just the option of gaining and throning is really, really strong and shouldn't be underestimated. We have Artisan, gain a card to your hand costing up to 5, and then put a card from your hand onto your deck. And Artisan, yeah, is a strong gainer. It reduces your hand size, and it of course likes if you have already played a village before, and then you can use the card that you just gained. And also notably, if anyone places Family of Inventor tokens on Artisan, it is able to gain itself, because it will be a card costing up to 5. Yeah. Anyways, that's been it. That's been a long discussion. Well, I had this tangent about Sorcerer and Sorceress. Sorry for that. I hope you found it interesting as well. And yeah, let's get into the analysis section, where we look at the kingdom and try to figure out what to do. Do we want to go money here or engine? I think it's pretty clear there are many components that make for a strong engine. There is an attack that will slow down money. So yeah, we will build here. We will try to jump on the gain train with Specialist and Artisan. We will try to get Warlords in play before the AI does. And we will try to draw using Highwayman, maybe Council Room, get our hands on as many villages as possible, thin down using Student, and yeah, maybe go for a Conjurer, or yeah, I don't know. Looks very good. The kingdom plot also looks very good. There's a little bit of alt VP in territory and also the trashing. Notably here, you can lock your opponent out of trashing if you rotate the students before they get a student. So that's why I think it's very important to open student or get a student early on yourself. And the Family of Inventors creates a weird dynamic where piles will be cheaper, and thus the expensive piles might pile earlier than usual. As for the openings for this kingdom, I'm not super sure what to go for. I think, yeah, on all of the opening variants, it's best to try to open Highwayman Student, as I think they're a nice opening variant. Um, and sometimes you might get lucky that AI places its favor on Highwayman already. I think it will value that as well. On the 4-3, you will have to place your token on there already. I guess you could also go for something like Student Battle Plan to have control over the clashes pile, but I like getting a bit more tempo in early. Student is non-terminal, but Highwayman is, and on student turns you might be able to buy villages. So yeah, I think in any case you try to somehow achieve that on the 5-2. What we're going to do here is just open Highwayman, then turn 2 place the favor on student, and yeah, be okay with that. One could also argue to place the favor on Artisan, but then what are we going to do with our 2-cost hand? It's better to put 2 cards in, I think, and therefore, yeah, and also that would enable AI to also have access to Artisan plus a 3-cost card. Like AI could then place its favor on the Artisan, even in a 4-3 or 3-4 case, and get this Artisan and the village on top of it, while we only have the Artisan, essentially setting us back a turn. So yeah, let's start this game. Let's start with a Highwayman, see what the AI does. The AI does have a 5-2 as well and puts the favor on Artisan after we have the chance to do so. That's not great, but well, we'll just continue with our plan. AI also goes for some trashing. Here we will reshuffle to this Highwayman. So we could put in a battle plan or a village. I think battle plan is nice here. And AI gains second artisan already. We get to also gain one here, which is good, but of course not great that AI gets to do so much with that. Let's rotate away from the conjurers. Actually, no, actually that's fine. And get our second battle plan. Could also be a village already. Actually, I like putting in a village. Maybe we find it here and we can gain and play some stuff. That would be pretty good. Um, yeah, AI does rotate a bunch. Does also trash a bunch. And yeah, we don't find the village, but we do find the artisan. So I think it's better to continue playing the highwayman and decline this. Like, yeah, at this point, either highwayman or specialist seem fine, but because the favor was already on the specialist, let's go for that. And the AI is building a very thin and scary deck. Um, which is looking pretty good. It has trashed much better than we have. Like, we have trashed 2 estates, 1 copper. So yeah, I'm not sure what to do here. We could get another artisan into the deck. Next turn there's going to be Highwayman. Um, hmm, Highwayman and Specialist on there. Doesn't look too enticing, to be honest. I mean, we could also go for an innkeeper here to try to cycle there, which would mean we get to play the specialist. In the best case, yeah, I think that's what we will need to do here. Or is it Vsauce music playing? Yeah, that's a tough decision. I think it maybe it's also just buy Highwayman, get another, decline this, get another, not buy Highwayman, gain Highwayman, get another specialist in. Yeah, AI does get double play. Students once again, super thin now. Well, we have a really bad turn. We at least can double play the Highwayman. It means that the specialist will stay in play. We gain another specialist, and we can put another favor on the artisan pile to gain yet another, buy yet another artisan. Yeah, this is looking scary. At least the AI doesn't have that much draw going. Like it does have specialist, artisan, student stuff in a very thin deck, but it doesn't have any draw yet. But it essentially could very easily play specialist, specialist, artisan, counselor, and gain counselor room, do some of that stuff. So yeah, let's see. Unfortunately, I would have really liked to see the specialist here to double play the village, as this means that we'll kind of be out of village space here. So let's just be like this and yeah, let's trash this further copper and just get a few villages in deck. I think that's fine. Need to play it to play both of those highwaymen. And here we can just go for yet another artisan. The warlords are at no risk to be revealed currently. And maybe we are somewhat lucky that AI seems to have gotten stuck in this specialist artisan loop. Actually, we might, as weird as it sounds, we might have a win soon. Um, but I don't think this turn. Right, like we can gain a few artisans. Um, but I don't think we'll be there quite yet. Yeah, what do we want to do here? I think we go for a council room to draw a bit. It's okay to have the AI draw a few cards. Play this again. Go for one more specialist. Then double play the council room, I think. No, not yet. We will draw 8 cards, but we only have 7 cards in deck. So let's double play the artisan again. Get another battle plan and play this again. Get another artisan. Now here we play. Okay, I have a plan. We rotate with the first battle plan. We rotate to the warlord, gain a warlord using artisan, which will render AI's deck pretty useless. And then we use the next battle plan to rotate away. I think that's pretty good. Like we have 2 more specialist plays get it going. So now we double play this. Play this specialist again. Well, we have a bit of overdraw, I guess. I didn't consider this. Play this again. Go to the warlords. Now, yeah, I somewhat misplayed this, but it's okay. We can have a very reliable next turn, even with the double warlord coming in. And yeah, now play this battle plan. Grow. Yeah, maybe that's even too much. We don't need that much. Do we have another village space for another artisan? I think so. Yeah, we have 2 high. Yeah, we have 3 actions. Amazing. I think we just gain a duchy here actually and be, or well, let's go for the Warlords nonetheless. Or actually then in that case, I'm sorry for reversing so many decisions, but then let's top deck the student and actually buy the duchy at a later point, as we will, it will be nice to be up in points somewhat. Like, I'm not super concerned about what AI is going to do next turn because of the Warlord attack, but still, let's just rather be safe than... Yeah, we even get to buy a territory, which would come with a gold. Do we want to do this is the question. Or do we want to be a bit safer and buy a duchy? I think it really doesn't matter. AI has 4 gains at max. Like, it can play specialist, specialist, artisan, artisan, and then be very sad. So let's go for the greedy play. We have 4. We have 9 plus 15 cards hand next turn, right? So we essentially get to do whatever. Yeah, this turned out really nicely. I mean, I was scared of AI having such a thin deck, but it doesn't seem to like to go anywhere with it. So yeah, this is quite nice. Play village and draw up using this specialist on council room, and we can do more specialist stuff. And I think we should have a win here for sure. So play this one again to draw up, play the specialist again. And do we have the win in hand? Yes, for sure we do. I'm like, we have 7 artisan plays incoming, which we can use for double artisan, and then 5 duchies, play 2 more artisans for more duchies, and actually might not be enough to pile the duchies. Yeah, let's think about this for a sec. We might need to gain and play 1 more council room, and then what we should be able to do is pile villages for sure. Like, even if we so 7 villages would be 21 money, which we don't have. 7, if we reduce the cost by 1 using the student, it would be 14 money, which we also don't have, but we could gain a few of them using the artisan. Like, currently we have, what is this? 8 money. So we would need to gain 2 villages, and yeah, I think that's the win. There, we just double play this. Play again. Play again. Get those villages. Play again. Play once again. And now we have, yeah, I mean, okay. I might have overthought this. Like, we gained 2 villages here, 3 villages, 4. Wait, did I miscount? And was there a duchy pile out? I'm sorry. I need to go back and go back to the thing. Maybe I thought we had 1 fewer play of the artisans. I think, yeah, there is a duchy pile out indeed. Sorry for spending so much time being blind. But yeah, this was interesting. Oh, of course, we need to be careful that there are... Maybe there is not a duchy pile out, and I've just been super stupid. Sorry if you're sitting there shaking your head about what I'm doing. Well, for sure we shouldn't top deck the villages. Let's top deck the bad cards, play again for this, play this one twice again. And now we have 3 actions for 3 artisan plays, and then we should have enough money still for the last duchy. Sorry, I made this much more complicated than it was. So unless I miscounted something, this should be quite nice. And yeah, let's just go for it. And yeah, enough money. And yeah, that's it. Very interesting, very nice. And sorry, really, for you might have called me stupid here with this like overthinking this pile out. I think I thought we had one fewer specialist in play, but it was at least a bit close with the action situation in the end. But yeah, very nice win. And the AI had the funniest deck ever. I mean, it would have had a blast of a next turn, right? With the double played Highwayman. It could have triple played, like, it would have had 6 games at least with the specialist. But we could have done the Warlord thing again. We could have gained 2 Warlords this turn and completely shut it down. And that's what I said in the beginning. Warlord is very effective against those monolithic kinds of decks, where where you rely on like 2 or 3 cards in en masse. And yeah, here this really didn't work out for the AI. But also, yeah, I'm pretty pleased with how this went. 11 turns is quite fast. I think we had this really nice play on our penultimate turn where we did the Warlord rotation stuff, and where we like it was also very important, of course, that we also off shut out the AI from gaining Warlords itself, because that would have destroyed this last turn for sure. We would still have been much better off, but yeah, I don't know. This one is a nice dance around the piles. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video, and in the end, the gameplay itself was much shorter than the introduction, just because I went on a weird tangent. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this gameplay, and I will try to catch you in the next one. Until then, goodbye.